Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tax in 10 with me, Rachel de Souza and Andrew Robbins. We are both tax partners in RSM's London office and have a wealth of experience in dealing with a wide range of private client matters. Your feedback is valuable to us, so please do keep it coming, especially if you have thoughts on any topics you would like us to cover. You can contact us by email and our email addresses are at the bottom of your screen.
Now, Rachel, normally in these conversations, as you know, we try not to be too technical so that we can keep things pretty digestible. This week, I want to indulge myself and talk about something that is a bit esoteric. So you're going to have to work extra hard to make sure I'm making sense.
That sounds a bit ominous, Andrew. What is it you're wanting to inflict on us, bearing in mind it is January and we really need something light-hearted?
This is a domicile point, and it's something that I'm certainly seeing increasingly, and where I think there's very little sort of general understanding of the issue. Now, I think we all know that domicile is really important when it comes to your UK tax position. And hopefully people have a general understanding that your domicile can change when you permanently settle in a new country. One practical question that comes up quite a lot relates to citizenship and passports in particular. And post-Brexit, this is something I'm seeing a lot more of.
That's very true. And I get asked quite a lot about the implications of clients taking UK citizenship to make their lives easier when travelling, or simply just to give them the right to live and work in the UK.
Exactly. And for many years, we've actually been pretty relaxed on this subject. In fact, HMRC were on record as accepting that just because you take UK citizenship or have a UK passport, that doesn't make you UK domiciled.
Okay, so what's changed then? So
this is a bit obscure, but in late 2019, the Home Office updated its guidance on naturalisation, which is the process of becoming a UK citizen. And the point that the Home Office has now made relates to one of the questions on the application form to become a UK citizen, because the form asks you to confirm that your principal home will be in the UK. And what the Home Office now says is that if you apply for British citizenship on the basis that your principal home is in the UK, the Home Office may contact HMRC with that information.
So in short, the implication is that the Home Office will be telling HMRC that your principal home is in the UK, and HMRC will conclude that you must have therefore become UK domiciled. This might come as a bit of a shock to a lot of people applying for a UK passport.
Exactly, and it could totally change the way you're taxed, not just on your UK wealth, but on everything you own worldwide. So it is really important. And at the moment, I just don't think it's widely recognised as an issue yet.
So are we saying that if you want to retain your non-dom status, you can't apply for naturalisation? And then what about the non-doms who already have a British passport? Are they already UK domiciled?
I think the second question is actually easier to answer than the first one, because if you applied for it before the Home Office guidance changed in December 2019, you can still rely on the previous HMRC guidance, which was really clear that applying for a passport had almost nothing to do with your domicile status for tax. So that's the good news. The bad news is that I think there is a real risk that if you apply for a UK passport now, HMRC may argue that doing that automatically makes you UK domiciled. And here's my techie point. The argument against that is that to become UK domiciled, you need to have settled in the UK permanently or indefinitely. Whereas the question to apply for a passport is that your principal home is in the UK. So I think it's perfectly possible for your principal home to be in the UK, even though you have no intention to stay here permanently or indefinitely. So, for example, if I plan to work in the UK for the next 15 years, I might buy a house in the UK, and that could be my only home. So that would be my principal home, but it wouldn't mean that I was planning to stay in the UK permanently.
I take your point, but I agree that it's a very legalistic argument. Having said that, I think it's right, but I also think it's very risky to rely on it compared to not having a UK passport at all.
I agree, but the practical problem is I think that for a lot of people, they just have no choice other than to apply for a UK passport if they want to stay here. So although there is a real risk, people are a bit stuck. Now, in those circumstances, there are things you can do to protect your non-dom status. And these come back to the basic definition that your domicile only changes when you settle permanently or indefinitely. So, for example, from a domicile perspective, there is a huge difference between moving to the UK to work with the intention of leaving when you retire, compared to moving to the UK to work and having no plans about what you'll do in the future. In the second case, you're here indefinitely, and that would give you your domicile problem.
Okay, so who does this actually affect and what can they do about it?
So the first thing to mention is that while in principle this applies to anybody applying for a UK passport, the practical effects will only concern those who've got significant wealth overseas, because those are the people who are going to be thinking about inheritance tax, remittance basis planning, that sort of stuff. It's particularly relevant for anybody who is domiciled in India, Pakistan, Italy, or France, where, as we've talked before in episode 18 on capital tax treaties, there are big inheritance tax advantages.
Okay, so for people who are affected and do need a UK passport, it's really important to think about how long they're going to stay in the UK and when they plan to leave.
Yeah.
They're also going to need to be able to show that they are in the UK for a fixed period or purpose, even if it means that they're planning to stay here for 20 years, running a business or whatever it may be.
I agree. And I think in that situation, having a clear record of your plans is extremely helpful. Although obviously you need to make sure you keep it up to date. I certainly have clients who moved to the UK while their children were in education, for example. But if they stay here beyond that, they then need to rethink their plans so that they don't just drift into that indefinite residency position. So I think when your circumstances change, rethinking your position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that, you know, you can't just do once and shove in a drawer. You have to review on an ongoing basis. And again, it's fine for intentions to change, but you just need to be really clear what those intentions are.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, we're a bit short on time today following Andrew's sort of techie discussion, but there is time for a quick recommendation from me. And I'm going to turn the clock back on you and just let you know that I recently binge watched the BBC production of Pride and Prejudice with a very young Colin Firth and Jennifer Earle. I have to say, it's absolutely wonderful viewing for a rainy, cold January day. So we'll close up there. Thank you for listening. Please do let us have your comments and feedback. We can be contacted on rachel.souza@rsmuk.com and andrew.robbins@rsmuk.com. See you next time.
Bye.